Coach, I guess just to start with that, I mean, you guys have gotten a tournament under your belt. How nice is it to be able to come back home and kind of work out the kinks here?
Yeah, it's going to be great. We've had this on our calendar for a long time, and seems like the last couple weeks have gone really slowly. I think everybody's ready to play. Yeah, the Rawls course is awesome. It's in the best shape I've ever seen it in, so we're just so excited to have all the teams come and get a chance to see what we get to play every day.
You guys got to do this last year as well, and it was a successful weekend. I guess, what can the group that played last year take from that, and maybe I guess you can't really build on first place, but
Yeah.
repeat it. How about that?
Yeah, I think our goal is just to play well. We've been looking at the weather, and it looks like it could change over the next week. Maybe some different winds than what we're used to, and a little bit cooler. But I think if we go out and play the way we have been and practice play the way we've been practicing, then we'll be just fine. But we'll have some tough competition, so we definitely will have to play our best.
Matt and I were talking about that, potentially being a little bit colder next week. When the weather does change like that, do you guys make it a point to go out there and play the course that way, since it's obviously not that way all the time for you guys? Just so you have an idea of what you're working with?
Yeah, I think it's going to change the day of the tournament, and maybe a couple times throughout that first day, the wind direction. We've definitely been practicing it at a certain direction that we're used to. We won't really change anything, maybe move a couple tees up if they're into the wind. But, I think our team has played the course enough and knows where the ideal places to be are and where you don't want to be. So if we can just keep that in mind, we should be fine.
Hey, Coach, you have 6 upperclassmen this year, I believe, on the team. How is that experience going to benefit you coming into this year?
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have some experience in the program. We've got 3 seniors who have been with us for a long time, and it's been fun to watch them grow up and get some experience. So they've all been good leaders. 2 of our upperclassmen have transferred in this year. We've only had them for a couple weeks, but just watching them in practice every day and seeing how they interact with their teammates, we know we're in good hands. They're going to be good leaders for us.
Was there anything specific this offseason you wanted to work on from last year, like greens and regulation, scrambling, sand save? Anything specific that was maybe lacking last year that you wanted to improve this year?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think in college golf, I think the difference between your winning teams and the teams that are kind of in the middle of the pack always comes down to inside 100 yards. And that's something that we talk about a lot with our team. That's what we focus on nearly every practice that we have. So it's always the little things, how close can you hit your wedges? How well do you know your yardages? Can we avoid some 3 putts? So just the little things inside 100 yards is always what our focus is.
How does this course specifically prepare you anywhere in the country? Because obviously it's not a flat course. There have a lot of undulations, a lot of elevation changes. In some holes you can miss the fairway and you're immediately in the fescue. How does this place prepare you to play almost anywhere in the country?
I think the Rawls course is the best preparation you can have, and we say that when we bring recruits in. If you can play this golf course well, you can play anywhere. You just get certain lies, tight lies. You get the slope that you're talking about. The wind direction. So it's not easy to play out here. So if we can learn from our mistakes out here and get great with the short game, then anytime we have really good grass or lush grass, then it makes it a lot easier.
I believe Chelsea's the only Texas player on your roster. What does that say about the depth of talent across the nation and internationally? Because I know several players are from international.
Well, golf is definitely a worldwide game. You see that on all the tours. So Chelsea being our only Texas player says a lot for Chelsea's game to be among worldwide talent. But we look anywhere we can to find the best players that we can, and they all love the opportunity that we have and the facilities that we have.
Anyone else? Well, I'll ask one quick. Just how excited are you to host a regional here in Lubbock in May, and to use what you're going to do this next week and to bring that into May with your team?
Yeah, hosting the regional is awesome. We don't get a chance to do it very much, but I think it also just shows if the NCAA is going to pick this site, it shows what we have here. I think the teams coming into this tournament, we have 15 outside teams coming in. They all want to see the golf course and see how it's going to be set up. So I think there's a lot of excitement around our area with teams hoping that they would get selected here. But it'll definitely be a great test.
That final stretch of 16 through 18 this week, where you have a long par 3 and 2 par 5s that could be gettable depending on the wind, how is that final stretch going to play into like the outcome of the tournament?
It'll make it exciting for sure, and probably depending on the wind. If 18 plays downwind, people may try to go for it in 2. So yeah, if you're around and have the chance to come out and watch, that might be a place where you want to sit that final day and see how things shape up.
Well, Anna, how excited are you to be back on campus?
Very excited. It's like a homecoming thing for me. It's kind of like I kept telling to coach and I kept telling to the rest of the team, I'm like, this really feels really special, and very fortunate to be able to be back to Lubbock. It's just like, yeah, it's like coming home.
How did it come about? Did Coach give you a call, or you call her? I mean, what was the start of the whole process?
Coach gave me a call because our previous assistant, she had to retire, and Coach was like, hey, there is a chance for you to come back. Do you want to take on that? I was like, absolutely. So that's how it started.
How do you, obviously everybody practices out here, but what can you give the golfers, as far as what you've learned from playing this course so much?
Well, I say stay patient, because Rawls, if you look at by hole, it may seem easy, but once the wind starts to blow and greens gets a little tricky now, that's the time it gets you a little frustrated. And then I kept telling people that Rawls can really bite people if it wants to, so just stay patient and don't get triggered. If you do, then yeah, you fall into the trap.
Let's start with this weekend. What are the expectations of the group getting a chance to play at home?
I think we know this course better than anybody times 10. So I think we're going out there to win and win by a lot. It's going to be a tougher field than last year, but we won by 20-something strokes last year. So.
Do you use this? I know the course will probably play a little bit different. It might be tougher, when it gets to a regional. But do you use this in any way to prepare for that, just because it is a tournament feel as opposed to just a practice round?
Yeah, definitely. I think what this event is going to do in this week is just build confidence going forward. Post some low scores and see how we'll shape up against other D1 competitors. So yeah, it'll be good for getting our confidence up and preparing for another tournament here in the spring.
Coach talked about the chance of the weather kind of changing a little bit. Have you played the course whenever the wind's blowing from the north, not so much from the southwest or the south?
I don't mind. I don't have a favorite wind. I'd like it to blow a lot for the tournament, because we know this place more than anything. But spring golf here is a different kind of golf. But I think we're at an advantage as long as it blows. We know this wind, whatever way it is. We know it's always usually a club or more. So I want it to blow.
I know Pebble was a tough test 2 weeks ago. How did that place really prepare you for this event this weekend?
I put Pebble in a perspective of it's probably the hardest course I'll play, and I'm ready to play a course where I know and I'm confident on. But every course compared to Pebble for me personally is a walk in the park usually. So it's the great event, but I love playing at home.
Was there anything specific this off-season you wanted to work on in your game, like scrambling, maybe range regulation inside 100 yards, that you really wanted to get better at going into this year?
Yeah, after Nationals, my sophomore year, I went through a swing change, so last year was quite tough, but I'm finally coming out of that and able to work on more stats. My bunker play and our strokes gained around the green for sure has gotten a lot better. I love going back to California where the grass is different, and it's a lot easier to chip on than out here, so I've built that confidence back up again.
How do you practice in the wind here to make sure anywhere you go, you're ready to go?
So without changing your swing, which that's what kind of caught me here my freshman year, is I'd change my swing for the wind, and it got me caught when it was a regular event. But I always club up and swing easy. When breezy, swing easy is what I say, what my dad would say. But you just have to get comfortable taking more club and being aggressive still.
Let's start with that. I mean, any pressure, you feel the pressure obviously as the defending champion to try to make it 2 in a row?
Not really. Honestly, I'm approaching this one as a completely new tournament, not really thinking about what happened last year.
What do you guys want to work on as a group after the trip to California earlier this season?
I think it really, even though the scores weren't the best, we really just couldn't show our best selves out there at Pebble Beach. But here at the Rolls, we know the golf course, we feel really comfortable in the windy conditions, so I'm feeling confident for the whole team.
Yeah, about the weather, I mean, Coach had mentioned the fact the wind might be blowing from the north and changes
Yeah.
the way you guys played. And how does that affect you personally?
I personally enjoy it. I think that's our advantage this week, that we're used to playing this wind, especially that changes day to day, so it's never the same. You have to really trust your choice of club. So yeah, I think that gives us an advantage.
What went so well for you here last year?
I think I was just playing really consistent golf, making up and downs if I did miss the green, and then making a lot of birdies too. I remember I made somewhere around 14 birdies, I believe. So yeah, it was just really consistent.
From this off season, was there anything specific you really wanted to improve in your game?
Not necessarily. I would say I just want to keep doing what I was doing, keep practicing, trusting the process. I would say I'm heading in the right direction. It just has to show.
From the European talent's perspective, like, can you kind of compare the talent they have over there to the United States talent?
I would say it's fairly similar. Like just looking at the girls that stand out there compared to the ones that stand out here. I would say like when they compete in the same events, you can tell that they mix really well.